Yes, Denisha. Thank you for the $1.99 just to reprimand me on my AJ Lee slander. Oy. I got women at home telling me what to do. I got a woman on the internet telling me what to do and what not to do. Wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. The man to my left is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist. He's ensconced in stately Wayne Manor inside the ranting room, getting ready to go off very shortly about what has transpired in this week of professional wrestling. Doctor, are we going to we're going to start talking about that other company that had a big pay-per-view this weekend?
Yeah, we got to get into that, but first, Tanisha wanted me to tell you something.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
You only have to tell me once.
Oh, we're back at this. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll try to keep the AJ Lee slander to a minimum, but I can't promise anything. But first, we got to talk about AEW and the shit show that they are, because they had their big pay-per-view this weekend. And just like with every other AEW pay-per-view, if you listen to their fan base, if you listen to the dirt sheets, it's the greatest pay-per-view of all time. Every time. They have never had a bad pay-per-view. They've never had a bad match. Just ask the fucking people who are diehards and the Dave Meltzers of the world. 4 and 5 stars, throw it out the window, driving around the state, just throwing it out there. Bullshit. It was bullshit. I don't want to go through this as a blow-by-blow, everything that we talk about. By the way, they brought back the Rizzler.
I saw that.
And some sort of a weird-ass...
Some hooker.
I don't even
proposition to Rizzler.
Describe it. Yeah, a kid.
And he came out. A kid. He came out and he started talking. And then Shane Taylor from Shane Taylor Promotions, whoever the hell that guy is, ran over and grabbed the Rizzler and threw him on the ground. Rizzler took a bump.
Yeah. What are we doing here? But again, this was the greatest pay-per-view ever. Just ask them. Just ask them.
Don, if you're going to have a pay-per-view televised around the world, people are going to be paying money for it. It's not going to be on a streaming service. Would you consider Big Boom AJ and his kids celebrities?
No,
are they caliber of celebrities to be on a worldwide pay-per-view?
They're not celebrities. They're TikTokers.
And I know.
Everybody wants...
All you people out there,
it was around no.
It was on the pre-show. I know it was on the pre-show, but still it's part of the pay-per-view.
Which means everybody could see it for free.
It was only supposed to be on HBO Max, the pre-show, but they had problems having it streaming on HBO Max. People were saying, I can't see the pre-show on HBO Max. So it wound up being on the YouTube, where we are right now, the YouTubes.
Again, I have no words for it. Willow Nightingale beat Lena Cross. Okay, here's where it gets weird. There was a 21-man blackjack battle royal for Ricochet's belt.
Yes.
There was a battle. Why is this happening? Who the hell says it makes no sense?
It's like throwing Ricochet in a gauntlet match to keep his title.
Yeah, it just makes no sense. It's the dumbest shit ever. Jack Perry won this. FTR beat the Bucks, which, by the way, this led to the return of Edge and Christian.
I will say, in that 21-man battle royal that Jack Perry won, there were no dicks bitten.
Well,
during the tournament
last night. We're going to talk about that later. Match. We'll talk about that later.
It was a trifecta last night.
But again, Edge and Christian return from their hiatus.
That's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Now, this is where it's going to get interesting, because this is what everybody was talking about.
Sure.
2 ex-WWE guys return to the show, right? Timeless Sony Storm beats Marina Footloose. Fuck it.
Shafir. Footloose. And there was don't forget, there was a nip in that match.
You saw it. I didn't see it. I'm not watching this trash.
Toni Storm actually bit Marina Shafir on her breast.
What the fuck are you doing?
What are we doing right now? What are we doing?
And out comes, at the end of this hogwashing affair, comes Ronda Rousey. Now, you and I both started this show. I think we were at the end of the Ronda Rousey run, I want to say, but we both had the same opinion. She absolutely mailed it in and sucked her last run in WWE. She was a complete just there to get a paycheck. No one cared. She didn't care. It was horrific. And when she left, she trashed the company. And wrestling fans were like, that's not how you do business. This isn't right. She comes back, and Dave Meltzer, surprise, surprise, praises that they brought her back. Says this is really going to help the company.
This is not the first time. It's not the first time.
Wow.
It's the second time. She was in Ring of Honor. She made a one-night appearance in Ring of Honor for a TV taping, if you can call it TV, back in 2023. And, they couldn't land her then. They couldn't have her sign a contract then. And I got news for you, kids. She's not all elite. She didn't sign a contract with AEW. And
after last night's affair, I think they're setting it up for later on, so we'll talk about that.
Well, Tony Storm is hurt. Have you heard that?
Can we get to that when we get to that?
No, I'm just saying that from this match that she had at Revolution, Tony Storm has a serious injury, and she's going to be out for a while. All the usual suspects are reporting that.
Can we get to that when we get to that? I have that here, but it's from last night's show.
How do I know you have that there?
Because we're talking about last night's show, aren't we?
I know what we're seeing. Maybe we can
Are
run it
we
back.
talking about last night's show later? Yes? Yes?
I'm running it back.
I'm going to run you to a car wash. Out comes the Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne. They beat the Babes of Wrath. That doesn't matter. Swerve Strickland and Prince Nana defeat Brody King. So Brody King, once again, is a badass. The Tickler beat Chris Statlander. I don't give a shit about this Don Callis thing. El Idolo, Don Calisio beat Bandidio, so who gives a shit? But this is where the rubber met the road.
Okay.
By the way, Darby Allin and that shit, because they beat the Dogs. MJF defeated Hangman Adam Page in a match that went almost 47 minutes. And I don't think they're ever going to learn their lesson in this company on what a true wrestling Texas death match is, because this ain't it.
This is not it. No.
And,
it's a funny thing. The pay-per-view started on a Sunday, and it ended on a Monday.
These people have no jobs. They have no fucking jobs.
No. And he's on West Coast time. They were in California. So when the pay-per-view went off the air at 12:47 or whatever it was, a 3-hour time difference? It was 9:47 where they were. So it's no big deal to Tony Khan, but shit on everybody on the East Coast. And did you know that Kenny Omega couldn't wrestle Swerve Strickland at the pay-per-view because he was in Japan at a Street Fighter tabletop video game tournament? But who was at the pay-per-view that stopped them from putting a cinder block, wrapping it around Brody King's head? Kenny Omega was at the pay-per-view. So
but
it makes no
do
sense.
The pay-per-view. It doesn't.
He couldn't wrestle at the pay-per-view. But he came out in his Saturday Night Fever outfit to stop Brody King from getting his head wrecked with a cinder block. None of this shit makes any sense whatsoever in the grand scheme of things. It's ADHD booking. They book shit and then forget what they booked and they take it in a different direction. Oh, we got to go back to what we did after we did what we did over here. Willow Nightingale had to wrestle twice. Lena Cross had to wrestle twice.
And good night, bang. Goodbye.
I don't get it. Why? Why?
It makes no sense, dude. It makes no sense.
I don't get it.
And the skewer thing that Moxley used to do.
Yeah, they did that shit in this match. They did
it to MJF.
Match.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they used the needle through the cheeks in this match on Tony. They literally put it through his cheeks. This isn't a hardcore Texas death match. This is masochism disguised as wrestling.
Right.
It's horrendous. None of this. Okay, so the entire point of a Texas death match is the shit around the ring is stuff you would find on a ranch or something.
Yes.
Where's the fucking needle coming from? Is there a veterinarian on the ranch that we don't know about, stuck behind Terry Funk's barn, dealing with my sick horse?
Tell in Terry Funk's voice, I want you to say, Vince, I'm not going to stick a needle in that guy's mouth.
Vince, I'm not sticking needles in anything around here, pal. It's not going to happen. That MJF guy's a clown. I'm sorry. I can't stand what this is right now. It's absolute garbage. It's hot garbage. This whole thing was trash. Whole thing.
Absolutely. People, the big news of this pay-per-view was people bitching about how long it was and how long the main event was. 47 minutes, that main event was.
The big thing to me was what happened after the pay-per-view. So Ricochet decides it's a good idea for him to get on the Twitter machine and start railing and talking about the video that showed him after he lost his match and how pissed off he was.
Yes.
And some woman commented...
70 years old.
Yeah. Some woman commented, I see Ricochet's acting hasn't improved since he's left. Nothing crazy. I've seen far worse about the guy. Right. You know where his fingers have been, by the way. It could have been way worse.
It could have been a video of him doing another body cavity search on himself.
Yeah. So he comes back. He goes into her profile, looks it up, and finds out that she has MS. Say it for me because I can't.
Multiple sclerosis. There's a picture of her pinned to her profile of laying in her bed because she can't walk.
And he says, I'm glad you got MS.
It's not like the woman said, fuck you and your whole wife. Not like that's what she said to Ricochet.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's his response. And here's where it comes down to, right? And we're going to talk about this for a little while. He doesn't know how to heal. He doesn't know how to do it. We just got a master class in it from Randy Orton Friday night, where he, out of nowhere, turned on Cody Rhodes, beat the fucking brakes off of him, blood streaming down Cody's face, and he goes back and gets some more. And he's not talking to the crowd, and he's not insulting anybody. He's making a statement with his actions. And then Monday, just to top it off, he used his words to make a statement.
Yes.
And he didn't insult anybody. He didn't go crazy. He wasn't screaming at anybody. There's different ways to heal, and I just want to point this out. You either know how to do it or you don't. And Ricochet, for the past year and a half, 2 years, has just been on Twitter screaming at anybody who will listen. That's all he knows how to do.
Told a man or a 16-year-old boy probably who was giving him a bad assessment of how over he is. He said, you can suck my dick. That's what he said to this kid on Twitter. And a variety of other things. He doubled down with this old woman when everyone came after him, saying, look, bro, some people are trying to say, and be sugarcoated, look, bro, I think maybe you ought to apologize to her. That was a little rough. You shouldn't have said, no, fuck it. Everybody's coming after me. Everybody's bad-mouthing me. You're all a bunch of pussies. And then it just devolved from there and spiraled downhill. Samantha Irvin got involved. Samantha Irvin, they hounded her. She had to deactivate her entire Twitter account. The older lady, they came after her like it's her fault.
Right.
They're coming after her. So what she did was she just privatized her account. Nobody could see it except for people that she, that she mentions or that she wants to be able to see it. She had to lock it down, if you will.
And these soulless bastards on Twitter trying to defend what he said. All he had to do was a simple reply to be like, you know what? You suck and I don't appreciate your actions. Really, honestly, you're about the worst person I'll ever meet. Something like that, something simple. And a prime example of this, and I wanted to bring this back. Rick Rude knew how to heal when shit was being said to him that you couldn't hear, but he could, that was vulgar. You piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. And you know what he did? He insulted the crowd without going over the top. And he would get in the ring and say, I'm going to need all you fat redneck sweat hogs to sit down and shut up while I undress my robe and show your ladies what a real man looks like. That's how you heal. You don't come at a guy, I'm glad you got a disease that's incurable. What the fuck are you doing, man?
You don't get into petty schoolyard fights like you're a 12-year-old boy on Twitter. You don't do that. Speaking as a man who got into petty fights on Twitter like he's a 12-year-old boy, which I've done in the past.
It's just one of those deals, man. And I feel bad for Samantha because, you know, she didn't do anything to get this smoke. Them going after her is also equally horrible. I just want to say that.
I feel bad for him. And I'll tell you why. Because the guy's got all the talent, all the gymnastic talent in the world. If he would just listen to somebody who's got more experience than him, and maybe somebody could teach him how to get over. He couldn't get over on the indies except for doing all the acrobatics. When he was in Lucha Underground, they had to put a mask on him, and he was known as Prince Puma in Lucha Underground because he couldn't get over his Ricochet. And I think they had a manager with him doing all the speaking for him, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know why he feels like the only thing he can do is cuss and carry on and do the kind of shit he does online to get over as a heel. There's far better ways to do it. Look at MJF. MJF does it just fine. He insults you just fine without being over the top. He stays in that heel character. He knows how to get himself over.
When he came in to AEW, he was a babyface, and people were throwing rolls of toilet paper at him in the ring. Remember that?
Yeah.
On Dynamite? Yeah. Because they consider him to be shit. And he was right in the spot where he needed to be over in Dynamite. They all love that kind of flippy-dippy bullshit.
Right.
But he couldn't get over. He couldn't get over. He was over in Tony Khan's mind.
Of back in the early 90s, if Michael Jordan got into it with Magic Johnson and yelled, "I'm glad you got AIDS," that's the equivalent of this.
Yes.
There's just certain shit you don't say.
And what made it so bad is the fact that the woman just said, "I see his acting hasn't improved any." That's all she said. She didn't say, "Fuck you and your whole wife, and I hope your family, your entire family gets cancer of the eyes and dies." She never said that to Ricochet. She just said, "I can see his acting hasn't improved." And next thing you know, I'm glad you're dying of multiple sclerosis. I'm glad you have MS.
I don't understand this guy, man.
Where do you draw the line? And Tony Khan is the most sensitive guy, Don. You know, Jay Briscoe wouldn't let him on TV because of 18-year-old tweets talking about homosexuals and God and the Bible.
He's allowing. But this he's allowing.
Well,
this he's allowing.
Well, according to the usual suspects, okay? And when I say that, I mean the wrestling analysts out there who have dirt sheets.
I know. Yeah,
I'm not going to mention their names. They said that someone took it to Tony Khan, someone in talent approached Tony Khan, and Tony Khan saw it and lost his shit, and he called the legal department. He can't go and tell Ricochet, "You need to take the fucking tweet down. You need to go and apologize to that woman, and I want a complete apology on your Twitter account."
Well, now they're backtracking on that. They're saying he did it of his own volition now.
Exactly. So they'll tell you what happened, and then they'll go back and say, "Oh, no. Meltzer's saying he did it on his own volition." But the other famous wrestling analyst who will jump in your DMs and cuss you out and then block you again, that guy said that Tony Khan got a hold of the legal department and said, "Can we get sued over this? What are the legal ramifications of this?" And they said, "It's not good." And the legal department called Ricochet up and told him, "You got to take the tweet down. You got to apologize."
I want to thank everybody for joining us. See y'all in the chat. Thanks for coming out tonight. Appreciate you guys tuning in.
Do we have any lawyers? Are there any lawyers in the chat?
Mysterious Black Larry, all of y'all, appreciate you coming in here tonight because I do want to talk about this some. And the other part about this,
Don, are there any lawyers in the chat?
I work with lawyers all day.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to talk to any more lawyers.
And so we were talking about this earlier on the phone. They couldn't get sued for this?
No, dude, it's words on Twitter. It's words on Twitter. It's words on Twitter.
Right.
That's all it is. The part I do want to talk about though is Randy Orton and the masterful job he did Friday night. That was magnificent, his heel turn.
The whole bloodbath, and then he sat in a chair in the ring with the belt in his lap, just looking down at it. Eerie. Very eerie.
That's how you turn heel.
Yes.
You do it coldly. You do it without you do it with malice, and you do it without showing your true colors. And you show no remorse. You just sit there looking like an asshole. And he did it.
Right.
And the aftermath, the blood streaking across Cody Rhodes' face, we were both like, okay, is it time to turn Cody Rhodes heel? Is it time to turn Cody Rhodes heel? Is it time? Is it time? Is it time? Apparently, we forgot Randy Orton's probably one of the best heels that ever walked the line. He really is. And he showed it. And then Monday night, he was supposed to have an interview with Michael Cole. And he told Michael Cole on Monday Night Raw, yeah, I'm not going to do this interview after all. I just got one thing to say. I forgot I'm a killer. And there's more than one royal family in wrestling. That was it.
Who was he talking to on the phone?
That I don't buy a whole lot into that, to be quite honest. I just don't.
Could have been.
I know people are trying to make a big deal out of that. I just don't think it's something major.
Could Cowboy Bob Orton step in?
I don't think it's Cowboy Bob Orton. He's in his 80s now, and he's got
to be. Yeah, he's got to be. Could it be Ric Flair?
Nope, I don't think so. And I've seen all these wild guesses going around. I don't think it's any of that stuff. I don't think it's anybody.
What about Dave Bautista? It's got to be somebody.
I don't think so. It's
got to be somebody.
I don't know. I really don't. I just don't know. And to me, it's the backdrop of what was going on there. It's not the major thing.
It could be his uncle, Barry O. Remember Barry O, the jobber?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
He was in Orton.
I'm still stuck on back to, Ricochet real quick, because we are comparing and contrasting these two guys. I went and looked at all the usual suspects for the dirt sheets on Twitter, because here's the thing with me, Bottles. The new way to spread information, misinformation or good, is Twitter. It's social media. That's where everybody goes now. Message boards and newsletters, that shit's so passe and old. No one's doing that anymore. If it's not on X, if it's not on Instagram, no one cares or pays attention to it. And the usual suspects tried to say, well, we totally reported on it, man. Like, we totally did. We had it in the newsletter, and so wrote it. Yeah, but you didn't put it on your X machine, did you? Because Tony Khan told you to not make a big deal out of this because he didn't want this shit trending. That's the number one thing he didn't want happening, is for this to trend.
The first one where it popped out was Brian Alvarez on the Wrestling Observer message board on WrestlingObserver.com. Someone asked him about, everyone was talking about it, and he chimed in and said he should be crossing his fingers that he's not going to get fired this weekend. Again, why they would do it on a weekend, I don't know. But
again, that's on a message board. It's not even on X. It's not even out there.
I understand.
Tony Khan told them, don't say shit about this.
Right.
So they didn't, because they're good little puppets.
Right.
Also, by the way, I ran across this little record today. Tony Khan tried to buy the WWE in 2023.
Yes, he did. He was number 4 in bids.
He also came in as the lowest bidder.
Yes.
They said, get the fuck out of here. This is a serious business here. Right. Go away.
Right. It would
so
have been
for
funny.
all the, do you know how look, the AEW fanboys would have died if this happened?
Oh, they would.
That's not a real wrestling company, man. Don't do it, Tony. So just so you're all aware out there, Tony Khan wanted to be part of WWE. He wanted that history. He wanted to get into the big boy game, but he can't do it.
No,
I just thought that was absolutely hilarious when I saw that.
He didn't have the scratch to do it. I guess he couldn't talk shat and throwing a few billion towards him. But it just boggles my mind, man. It boggles my mind.
Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Squared Circle Maniacs podcast. If you like what you hear, Super Chat's open. You got something to say, you want to cuss somebody out, let us know. Backstage news on Braun Breaker. And this is sort of hit and miss. It's all over the place. It's a Willie or won't he? Willie or won't he? Be ready for WrestleMania. And I just got to say this, right? This kid's going to have a lot of WrestleManias in his future.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rush him back. Don't rush him back.
Right.
If he's still injured, if he still can't perform, there's no need in rushing him back. Do you agree with me in that? Am I wrong?
I agree 100%.
I'd love to see him at Mania, but there's no need to just have him back to have him back. You have a card that's stacked full of stars right now. It's heating up.
I'm worried that they're rushing back Rollins. And I don't even like Seth Rollins.
Yeah. I mean, you're right there.
Yeah, he's even said, I can't lock up with anybody right now because the shoulder's not completely healed. But
it makes me wonder, though, did they rush him back, though, because of all the injuries of his ex-faction, do you think?
Yes.
And the other part of this, which you have talked about it, quite a bit on the show, was the match between Gunther and Rey Mysterio. Now they don't know what they're doing with Gunther because Rey can't get this rib unfucked. He's
got three broken ribs. I heard.
I just heard he had a strained rib cartilage, which is painful as hell if you ever had it because it feels like you're straining to breathe every time. Every time.
He did an interview with some lucha site and said that he's down for the count because he's got 2 cracked ribs or 3 cracked ribs. I forgot what the number was. So
I just would like to see them start spinning up Gunther one way or another in some direction. Really,
LA Knight.
That sounds like a great idea to me. But again, he's stuck in the other faction going on right now. So who the hell knows where any of this is going to come down at WrestleMania? It's still in the air. It's still very much in question. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'd like to see Gunther get some damn way going forward.
Here's something for you right now.
Does Ray still have two
eyes? Yeah, but he's got a Google eye. One eye's a little googly.
Oh, God.
Thank you for the 2-spot block, Larry.
Wasn't that the end of the Vince McMahon booking season era?
Yes, when Seth Rollins tried to pop Ray's eyeball out. Supposedly he did through that gimmick mask that they had. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Okay. The main event of WrestleMania, Roman Reigns, CM Punk. Who do you got who do you have as the winner?
I don't know. I'm going to talk about that in depth here in a little bit when we talk about Raw. Because I'm going to talk about Raw. I thoroughly enjoyed Raw this week.
Yes, Raw was good.
I thought Raw was out of this world. There's still no word on Royce Keys and what he's going to do or if he's going to be at Mania. I feel like Royce, this might have been a big step where he's like, damn, this is a lot. I'm going to have to take some time on getting accustomed to this. Thank you again, Larry.
Well, he didn't want to go to NXT. They tried to put him in NXT. He said, no, I want to go on the main roster. That's where I want to start. So they got him on main event. He's on main event wrestling.
And that's fine. It's a good start for him.
The rumor with Royce Keys is that he's going to be tag teaming with Jelly Roll against somebody at WrestleMania. Nice high-profile spot for Royce Keys. I know you want to see that match.
You and I both have very similar feelings when it comes to most celebrities in wrestling matches.
Yes.
Keep them away.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care. If you're going to walk, dog, walk. My dog over here terrified of wood. Wood floors are her enemy.
You told me
She's
about
convinced
that.
they're the devil.
Yes. The floor is lava. The wood floor is
you,
lava.
Ridiculous. WWE Raw results. We got to get into this because this thing started off like a stack of dynamite. To begin with, out comes Seth Rollins.
Right.
Seth Rollins is out there. He's out there with the GM. They're talking back and forth. The GM's like, I know you're not healed. I don't want you doing anything. And then Paul Heyman shows up looking
haggard,
like $1 million bum. It was glorious. The one eye is bloodshot and swollen. He hasn't shaved. He looks disheveled. He doesn't look like he showered in a week. He looked phenomenal. And they're going back and forth. And he says, the one thing you didn't count on, and screams Brock Lesnar. And here comes Brock, who then begins to kick the shit out of the 20-something guys in a black jumpsuit around the ring. Did you notice the one guy he chucked into the wall? I think that dude landed on his head.
I think he did too.
Like it was like, guys, you need to get hit and get the hell out of there. Stop letting this guy chuck you.
Some random guy in my feed on Twitter said later on that night, hey, man, it just got thrown through the air by Brock Lesnar. That's all he said.
He was clearing house.
Yes.
He gets in the ring to confront Seth Rollins, and Obafemi's music hits.
Mm-hmm.
And he saunters down to the ring,
Yes.
and just out of nowhere, he power bombs the sit-out power bomb on Brock Lesnar and puts his foot on his chest. It was awesome. If it sounds like it was awesome, it was awesome.
It was freaking awesome. It was awesome. Even though Brock was laying on his back going, put your foot on my chest. Put your foot on my chest.
I don't care.
I don't care about that either. That was great. And I like the tear that was rolling down Oba's cheek because Brock put him over. Warrior JWR with the 199 spot. Punk should bring up how he picked Hero, not Roman. Chris Hero. Yes.
That's right. He did.
He wanted Chris Hero. They were going to be bodyguards, as Shield was, for CM Punk.
That's right. Yes.
Right before he left. And he wanted Chris Hero and Seth Rollins and John Moxley. Dean Ambrose, whatever you want to call it.
Again, loved all of this. Original El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. I like this. I don't know why, but I really, really like this. I thought this was a fun match.
Yeah.
Anything on that?
No.
Okay.
I'm a little tired of it. I'm glad they had the match now as opposed to WrestleMania.
I don't think we're done yet, pal. Thank you again, Warrior.
Who's booking this shit,
pal.
Vince?
We're not done yet. Women's Intercontinental match, AJ Lee versus Bayley. I didn't hate this. I know you probably didn't. I didn't hate it. I'd give it a B for a women's match. I think AJ Lee and Bayley work well together.
They did. Good to see AJ Lee mix it up with somebody besides Becky Lynch.
Yes. And then this is the match that sort of got my attention was Penta versus Dragon Lee. Now, Dragon Lee gets on my TV a little bit much, as does Penta. But I had a feeling this might be one of those matches because they work the same style. It's going to gel really well. Penta is over with this crowd, man. They go batshit for this guy.
Yes, they
do.
do.
They love the walk. They love when he talks on the mic. They love everything about this dude. And these guys had a barn burner. I loved the shit out of this match. This was great.
You know that headpiece he wears over top of his mask? Have you gotten a good look at that? It's like a Japanese samurai
Yes.
hat. I just realized that the other night. I got a good look at it. And the gimmick with the skull, teeth, and all that other bullshit that he does, that he's got, it's a great gimmick. He looks fantastic. He looks great. He can work. And he's not going a mile a minute like he was in AEW.
I like this match, and I'm not a huge Lucha Libre fan, so that's where it was. This match I wasn't looking forward to, and for good reason. Maxine Dupree versus Natty. I'm moving right on past that because it was what you thought it was going to be.
Horrible.
Stephanie McCool versus Raquel Rodriguez. It was about what I thought it was going to be. Gonzo. I was like, okay. But then we get to the main dish. CM Punk and Roman Reigns.
Yes.
And you want to know how I know this was a great segment?
Well, you left out the Uso interactions earlier in the show.
Go ahead and talk about it. You go ahead.
They just interacted with LA Knight, and it seems like they were nice to LA Knight. They liked him.
Well, one of them was. The other one was just over the top with his bullshit again. They got to stop that, man. They got to stop it, dude. It's
Mr.
over the
Heat
top,
needs to dial it down. He needs to dial it. Just stand in the back and glare. That's all he's got to do. Let Jimmy do all the talking. It's just ridiculous.
Jay is just too over the top with his shit, man.
Of course.
He just is.
Of course.
And when they met with Roman Reigns later the night, he was doing the same garbage.
Yes.
The same nonsense.
Yeah.
Way over the top. Stop.
Less is more. Less is more.
Yes, dude.
I guess they're not traveling with Paul Heyman anymore. That's why he's not giving them pointers.
Yeah. God. But they did.
Listen, you know who was improved?
What happened there?
You know who's improved? Austin Theory, talking on a microphone.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
So's Logan Paul, because he traveled with Heyman.
It's almost like they're getting coached by one of the best mouthpieces ever.
Imagine that.
Who knew?
You had Arn Anderson and Jake Roberts in AEW, and they said, we're good. We don't need to listen to that.
Later, we're going to make sweaty balls.
Chocolate sweaty balls.
So LA Knight told them, if you get back with the bloodline, we're done. I'm telling you right now, because I can't have that coming back through here. But we're cool otherwise. So CM Punk and Roman Reigns get in the ring together. And the reason I knew this was a great segment was because I saw it from both ends. CM Punk cooked his ass. Roman Reigns got him. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, all the way down. Everybody had a completely different take. I'm going to say, for my money, what I saw in this, I thought CM Punk got the upper hand again. Doing the promo. I really did. I thought he had the better promo in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I loved it. I'm interested to see where it goes. It looks like he's... last week, Punk took a shot at Roman. Very, very hard. A hard shot. Fired one right across his bow. And Roman's just trapping him. He's getting him to lose his cool. That's what's happening. Roman is just the guy who is just getting him to snap and make a mistake in the ring when they have that match finally, do something stupid out of anger, and lose that title.
Well,
and
he told him in the show Monday, he said, you're the old man in a young man's game. And that's what sent Roman over the edge. What I thought was great was Roman trying to leave and CM Punk getting right in front of him and saying, no, this is my show. This is my main event. I'll tell you when you can leave my ring. I thought that was cold as ice.
That was cold as ice. He just hopped out and got right in front of him. I would love it for them to have this match at WrestleMania, and whoever wins, I would want the ring general to come to the ring and challenge whoever wins this match. And they could follow it up on Raw.
That
could be follow it up on Raw.
I just don't want another part-time champion. I'm tired of the part-time champions.
Well, if you get Roman Reigns, you're going to have a part-time champion.
Anyway, that was Raw. I thought it was great. It sure as hell was better than what I watched last night. Because, pal,
yeah,
I got news, chat. I got something to tell you all. Johnny Bottles coined the phrase, and it happened again last night. When you're a dick biter, you're a dick biter for life.
Absolutely.
And we got 2 new ones added to this list that we're going to talk about from this horrible AEW show that was on March 18th, where they distributed 3,584 tickets in a building that can hold up to 18,000. Probably why it sounded so damn quiet.
Yes. And they had the volume turned up because every time they played music, it was so loud, it was drowning out the announcers almost.
And the way this started, by the way, with the announcers, it was like watching a car wreck.
Horrible.
I'm going to get into it right out of the way. The masked goof is back, I said. Will Ospreay is also back. And he is going to have a match tonight. By the way, just so we're clear, to once again point out the ridiculousness of the actual dirt sheets. None of this was mentioned in any of their shit on X. None of it. None of their social medias. None of it.
No.
Because Tony wanted this to be a big surprise. Every time Brock Lesnar sneezes, you hear about it on X. If he's going to be here or there, if he was spotted at an airport, you hear about it all over the place. This guy's literally across the pond coming in for a match, and you hear nothing.
Nothing. You know what kills me? If you got Will Ospreay, who's been out for, 6 months now?
Yeah.
He had a neck fusion surgery, and he's
Double
coming
neck
back.
fusion, I think.
He's coming back way too quickly from this. Way too quickly.
I looked it up. I'm going to talk about it in just a minute.
Why would you waste the return of Will Ospreay on a regular edition of Dynamite?
I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it.
Against Blake Christian.
I'm telling you I'm going to get there. The MJF versus Hangman match, they start recapping that shit. The Cope and Christian return, the Ronda Rousey return. And then the masked goof starts in the middle of Ospreay returning. This is where it gets so great. Ospreay's coming to the ring. He's in the ring posing. In the middle of all this, the masked goof turns to Bryan Danielson and says, "What did you think about Tony Storm getting attacked earlier?" And Danielson falls all over his tongue. He is completely like, what the hell are you doing to me right now? Why are we talking about Tony Storm when Will Ospreay just came back in a surprise return that no one's... What the hell are you doing to me right now?
Did they forget to show that?
Daniel Bryanson says, wait, we're talking about that too. Bryanson says, I had an interview with Ospreay earlier. He's on my mind. I don't know what to say. Back to you, I guess, essentially. This was god-awful.
It's terrible. You can't have two guys that want to be the lead play-by-play man, Shivani and Excalibur. You got to get rid of one of them. If you got to keep one of them, I'd say keep Excalibur. Bryan Danielson is so over his head trying to be a color commentator that he needs to go also. They just working it back. Isn't he the head of the disciplinary committee? Wasn't that one of his titles?
I swear that was one of them, yeah, for a while.
About 3 years ago, yeah. Why don't you just take that poor guy and have him supervise the ring crew or whatever, be an agent in the back? He doesn't have to be a commentator.
he fell all over himself because he was so taken aback. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? This isn't it. What does Tony Storm have to do with ocean spray right now?
I will tell you what happened is Tony Khan yelled in the headset of Excalibur, "You can forget to mention Tony Storm being attacked in the back. Ask Brian what he thinks." And that's what he did.
Which, by the way, that happened before the show started, and no one said a word on the show about it. It was on X. I saw it because Awful tweeted it. He
was
said,
on X.
imagine having this segment and then talking about it before anybody sees it. I was like, what are they even talking about right now? When did she get attacked? Was this at the pay-per-view and I missed it?
I think they forgot to run that segment when they had that cavalcade of what happened at Revolution, which was a good thing to get people who didn't buy the pay-per-view, who like that sort of thing. Yes, to buy it, and they got caught up a bit. It was a good thing that they did that because they never do that. They never do it.
So this segment with Tony Storm is supposed to write her off TV for a while so she can get some time off.
Right,
That's what
she's
this
hurt.
is.
Yeah.
She's hurt.
Well, the usual suspects say she's going to be gone for at least 6 months. That's what they say, with the injury that she's got.
Okay.
Apparently, they were working towards a Ronda Rousey-Tony Storm match. And you notice Ronda Rousey wasn't on the show last night.
I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling bullshit from my backyard.
Yeah, she's not signed to AEW. Maybe a per appearance deal, but she's not signed. No All Elite graphic. If she signed a contract with AEW, you would have seen it Monday morning at 1 a.m. that she was signed. He would have been falling all over himself to tweet that out there.
Yes. I just couldn't believe how bad the mask goof threw this to Danielson. And he was like, I talked to Ocean Spray. That's it. That's it. This is not going to get any better. It's
so
just not.
The mask goof has dementia, and Brian Danielson's turned into a Porky Pig.
By the way, he looked rough last night. Danielson did. His hair looked like it was matted, and he'd been sweating. He just didn't look particularly healthy to me last night for some reason.
He's got neck problems, man. All the travel's killing his neck, he said. His hands go numb, and all that other bullshit. His neck hurts.
Tony Storm, what?
They just need to let him have his contract, let him stay home.
Now, I looked up Ocean Spray's neck, right?
Yes.
And they say at 6 months he can return and he can wrestle. But they recommend 8 months for a full recovery is what they recommend. Mm-hmm. This dude's so nervous about his spot being taken.
Yes, that's exactly what it is, yeah.
That he wanted to get back to make sure he gets that title shot at Wembley is what he wants.
Yeah. The son of a bitch did a corkscrew moonsault last night.
I watched this match, and we're gonna. You mentioned this earlier, the douche that he's wrestling. Why was this a 12-minute match? Why was this competitive? Why didn't you let your star come back, shit on this guy in 2-3 minutes and be done with it and then cut his promo? Right. Why did you have a competitive match?
Chops, suplexes, you got to do a moonsault, hidden blade, match is over. 2 minutes, done. I'm ready for you, Moxley. Blake Christian, he's a terror.
I don't know who this guy is, Bottles. I really don't.
He's from Ring of Honor. They hired him. He's an big-time indie guy, I guess, but I've never heard of him before until he got incorporated into AEW and Ring of Honor. And I don't know. Maybe they needed a jobber. They look at him as a jobber. I don't know.
Denisha said they did try to copy the WWE and have an attack online that they showed later. So, again, it didn't make any sense because you're talking about it before anybody actually knew about it. So what the hell are we doing here?
Right.
Anyway, Will Ospreay gets on the microphone and he calls out the Cracker Can. Out comes Moxley. So is Moxley a heel again?
When he's up against a babyface like Ocean Spray, yeah. He came out with Lice Boy. They were going to have a tag match right after this. Why is he coming out so soon before all the occupants of the last match have left the ring?
I'm going to get into that too because this was such a...
I'm just asking questions that people want to know from you. They want your answers, Don.
I've got it now. Moxley comes out and they're booing him now, so I guess he's a heel again. He turned face 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and now we're back to being a face because he was sparring with the Callis family. I guess that's gone now. He's no longer mad at the Callis family. I don't know what this bullshit is. I do not understand.
He's not even mad at fat ass Mark Davis.
He's not even mad at him. Ocean Spray, and then again, eventually Ocean Spray gets jumped by Pac. Pac gets in there. They get the numbers crunch. They start kicking the shit out of Pac. Ocean Spray is laying in the ring. His body is cold in the ring as Pac is walking off the side stage. And the Bang Bang Gang come out to their music because it's time for their match. Ocean Spray's in the ring. Pac's walking off. Moxley's down there. And they're just walking out like, I guess we're going to have a match with all this shit going on.
Here we all are. Let's have a party.
And Ocean Spray comes flying down, dives off the ramp, and starts attacking Pac. And they're just watching it like, okay, what is this shit?
You know what I bet, Don? Maybe Ocean Spray's going to have to work his way through all the members of the Death Riders to get the Jon Moxley.
I guess.
What an epiphany I just had. It's the same shit they always do. It's the same shit they always do. Let's go through every member of the Don Callis family to get to the guy who holds whatever title.
Why? Why is he laying in the ring when their music is playing?
I don't know.
Dude, make this make sense to me.
It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They're trying to have, if they can't get the drama that they need out of the people in the ring, out of the talent, they're going to try to do it with time cues and shit like that. You know what I mean? Bring them out sooner. I don't know, Don. Why do they do anything? Who's running the show?
I don't know. Wheeler gets in the ring and he attacks Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson is back, by the way, with a beard. Glad to see that. Hair's a little funky now. Not sure what he's doing with his hair, though.
He did look a little bizarre without the beard. I gotta say that. Look a little bizarre.
Mox then beats on Ace Austin. I guess that's who that guy is. Apparently, he joined this Bang Bang Gang when nobody was looking. Because I don't know who the hell this guy is.
Well, I think both of the guns are hurt. That's what I think. That's what
They got a lot of guys running around in this company trying to look like Johnny Nitro, is what I'm noticing.
Yes. Like a creator wrestler from WWE 2K25.
Johnny Nitro's going to sue somebody. That's what I think is coming.
Well, they shaved his head. They shaved his fucking head.
Johnny Nitro?
He had to shave his head. He lost his hair. He lost his hair in a match. I think it was in CMLL. Some tag match, I think it was. They shaved his head.
Okay. Good-looking guy. Let's shave him down.
Yeah, great shape. Let's just shave his fucking head off.
Yeah. Stop me if you've heard this before. Jon Moxley gets into a chopping contest.
I think I've heard that before.
His matches are a paint-by-numbers match now at this point in time. I mean, seriously, dude.
Chopping, hardly selling at all. His idea of selling is like holding himself and collapsing into the corner, standing up on his feet.
At one point in the ring, all the guys are in the ring or on the floor fighting, and the ref just walks outside of the ring. Like, what's going on out here? What are you guys doing? He's not counting. He's not trying to get control of the situation.
Right.
I think he asked the guy in the front row, can I get a sip of your beer? Because I'm not going to do shit. I have no business here. I have no power over these
Nobody
guys.
counts. Nobody does anything. Nothing.
I am here in name and face only. I don't exist in any of this.
Not in any of it.
I mean fuck all of nothing in this match right now. That's how little I matter.
Yes.
Anyway, Jon Moxley gets the pin, cleanly wins. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Mr. Clean comes on a pre-taped segment and says he's not afraid of death and he's going to face Darby Allin later in a casket match. He says he's dreamed of putting Darby Allin down. And Darby says, meet me in the parking lot, bitch. So I guess we're going to the parking lot with this shit. And this is everything that I wanted it to be. It was the worst thing you can possibly imagine. And we're going to have to get into this. Jazz Hands comes on the screen before this all starts. It says he's going to fight Swerve for the number one spot because you're the number one contender now. Come out of here. Or some shit. Mr. Clean and Darby Allin start fighting in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Darby Allin says, I'm going to use some chloroform on you now and put you in my little trunk. So he does. He chloroforms him and puts him in a trunk.
Yep. And then what happened?
And then Darby backs his piece of shit up, almost hits someone that was pulling out of their parking lot. Did you notice that? Dude talking at him like, what are you doing? I don't know what was going on here.
Can you imagine being the guy, like looking at it like, what, you almost hit my car. And then what happens next? The guy's seeing all that. Like, what the hell's going on here?
What if that's somebody that just worked at the stadium and it was time for him to go home? He's like, watch out, you idiots.
Right?
Jesus. So Darby stops this 2012, 2010 Lincoln Town Car, which, by the way, I love a Lincoln Town Car. You can't get them anymore, so this hurt my heart watching this.
Mm-hmm.
And Darby runs the car straight at the trash pile that's conveniently there and does the shittiest rollover on the car in history. It rolls on its hood or on its roof. Exactly.
That was it.
Darby Allin flipped the car with Mr. Clean in the trunk. And he kicks the window out, and he gets out, and the trunk magically opens, and that guy's out. And now he's bleeding, and Darby's bleeding, and Darby throws him up on a trunk that's got wheels, and he rolls him to the ring. Just rolls him into the ring. And then begins to put him in a straitjacket. You heard me correct, folks. Begins to put him in a straitjacket.
Just had one laying around handy.
Just had it. I just happen to have this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get too much further into the details of this shit. Darby Allin wins and puts him into a coffin.
Were they bleeding, Don? Of course they were bleeding.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Darby was a bloody mess.
Darby's bleeding from his head. Mr. Clean starts biting his forehead where the blood's coming out.
Yes.
At the end of the match, this is what I was like, it's over now. We have jumped the shark. We've jumped the shark. Mass Goof turns to Bryan Danielson and says, Darby Allin won, but at what cost, Bryan? And Bryan goes, at what cost? And that was it. That was the end of the conversation.
Jesus Christ. I go when I watch it on delay, like everyone knows we all watch it on delay. I just fast forward. When I see who won the match, I fast forward until I see something on the screen. I don't pay any attention to the commentators because it's just so horrible. I got to go back and watch that. I got to watch for that now.
It was marvelous.
Maybe
right.
Is Danielson's brain turning to mush?
Let me repeat it again.
Go ahead.
Bryan, Darby Allin won, but at what cost? At what cost?
Did Shivani say anything during all this shit show? I can't recall.
Yes. This is the greatest night in the history of our sport. This was phenomenally bad. And the crowd just did not give a shit.
Nothing. They didn't care at all. They were quiet. Not at all. The people in the front row that you see, they're all amped up and excited. They're happy to be on TV. That's what it is. They put on their best dirty shirt to show up at the wrestling show and be seen on television with, last night's meatloaf still in their hair.
It gets better and better. Jack Perry's segment, oh joy, I can't wait.
How horrible was this? How horrible was this?
It's so cringe. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not making this up. By the way, thank you all for joining us tonight. I see you, Mr. Nobody. How you doing, brother? I do want to say this. Fluff is in the house.
The Fluffster.
Fluff is in the house.
Flamethrower Fluff Salisbury for a 5 spot. Darby had to sit on a phone book like Grandma Salisbury to reach the pedals of the car. Well, he probably put on he's probably got his 6-inch lifts in those boots just to reach the pedals.
I was reading Dusty Rhodes' book.
Here we go.
And he talked about how they had a midget wrestler in the car.
Oh my God.
And they were too intoxicated. Dusty and the other guy, I can't remember who was around with, were too intoxicated to drive. So they gave their boots to the midget to wear so he could reach the pedals, because he could reach the pedals with their long-ass boots. They taped them around his legs. They get pulled over because the cop doesn't see anybody driving the car. Comes to the window and sees the gimmick they got. He said the cop was like, "Don't ever let me see this shit again. What do you two get behind the wheel?" Dusty said, "I'm the American dream, baby. I got my own little driver here. That's my little man."
Did you have a donkey in a Motel 6 where it shit and pissed all over the room? You and this guy, Murdoch.
I'm telling you, that's one of the funniest stories in that book.
Did they cover that story, the donkey in the hotel?
Yes, they do. He talks about it.
He rode a donkey into the motel.
This happened several times. This wasn't a one-off.
Really?
Yeah, this happened multiple times.
Hello,
it was their pet donkey.
It was somebody's got a pet donkey?
He had it in the back of the pickup truck going town to town.
God, I thought he was renting a donkey just to do that shit. Yeah, baby, I like to call rent a donkey.
They said, "Man, you got a donkey." And then Brian Anderson said, "At what cost?"
At what cost is that donkey in the window?
Thank you again, Brother Fluff. That was good. Took us down a whole other way.
What is going on? Back in the day. If they only had cell phones with cameras back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
We used to block Larry for $2. You're right, Larry. We used to be a proper country. Now look at us.
Jack Perry segment, back to this bullshit. This is so cringe in so many ways. It shows Brontosaurus Rex sitting in the van or sitting in the short bus, literally in the short bus, honking the horn at, I guess, Jack Perry's home.
Yes.
And they go back inside. And Jack Perry's packing clothes, and he's packing this, and he's packing that. And he goes ahead and he packs his new TNA or his new NWA belt, or whatever the hell it is, television title. The national title, excuse me. So he packs it all up.
Yes.
And he comes out and Bronto.
He had the squirrel?
Yes. He goes outside, puts a walnut in his hand, and a mystery squirrel jumps in his hand and takes the walnut. And they go back to Brontosaurus Rex, and he's just shaking his head like, "Let's go." I'm not exaggerating. This shit all happened, and it's only beginning. It gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to get in the van. Brontosaurus's arm is in a sling. He can't drive with two arms. He has to reach with his left hand to close the door. He's reaching over his body to get the door. They show them pulling into a gas station and getting gas. Why?
And Brontosaurus is in his gear with the mask and everything, pumping the gas. And Jack's just standing there with a Slim Jim in his hand, just looking around. A lottery ticket and a Slim Jim, surveying the gas station.
They get to the arena, and they show the Brontosaurus coming around the corner, almost takes the fence out because he's doing this with one arm. You can see him with one arm. He cannot drive this thing.
No.
It is not the magic bus. It is literally short bus time. Cuts the wheel again, almost runs into the other fence, and comes to an abrupt stop. This wasn't smooth. And out comes Jack Perry. And he says, "I am back with my friends tonight to take care of business." And the Bucks show up.
The Bucks show
and
up
I said,
like
"Oh,
superheroes.
no.
Here we go."
Didn't these guys have a massive falling out a few months ago and never reconciled? The inconsistent booking of this company it's maddening at times. Moxley's a face, now he's a heel. This guy was mad at him, now they're buddies for no reason.
It's ADHD booking, Don. ADHD booking.
In the words of Dave Chappelle, fuck your couch. I don't understand what's going on with this company right now. If you don't know, look it up, kids. We come back and Prince Nana is in the ring. Which means out comes Swerve to that god-awful song where you can't hear any of his music. You can't hear any of the words. You can't hear shit. It just sounds like a complete just bass, and that's it. I don't know what the hell's going on.
All the music on the show, it's just awful. It's just over. It's too loud, and the ring announcer's got to scream to, be heard. And for God's sakes, please get rid of that ring announcer. What happened to the girl who was doing the ring announcing for like a couple of weeks? What happened to her?
I don't know. She was doing a good job, though, I thought.
She was doing a good job. Better than Justin Roberts. He's horrendous.
Like I said, out comes Swerve. He gets in the ring, and he says, I've been thinking a lot about power. But me and Brody King went to war. What?
That one
I've
match.
been thinking about power, but we just had a war.
One match.
And then he says, power lies elsewhere within this company, and unbeknownst to me, I'm now the #1 contender.
Unbeknownst to me, he's now the #1 contender. You know, this promo actually was one of his better promos.
That ain't saying much, Bottles.
It's not saying much, buddy, but at least he remembered all the words. He probably had it written down on his hand. You can't make this shit up.
I was going to be able to get a title match.
You can't make this shit up. It's so bad. You just can't make it up.
Didn't this company get founded on the belief that there would be rankings now and records would matter and all that shit?
Yes, a real sports
and
feel.
Now we're totally caught off guard when we're the #1 contender.
A real sports feel.
That's shocking news.
I'd love to see a catcher for the Yankees just take a handful of skewers out of his pocket, and when the guy's running into home base, he just jams them in the guy's forehead. I like to see that aspect of real sports.
I just couldn't get past that. I couldn't get past that comment.
It's hilarious.
That comment just got me.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me. What the fuck, dude? So then he says, okay, I'll give you a match, but you've got to put your EVP power on the line for my #1 contender spot.
Yes.
So that's what they're going for. However, they're not having this at the pay-per-view. They're doing it next Wednesday because Tony Khan is hot-shotting the shit out of this show because he knows he's got to get ratings back up. And this is how you do it.
Yes,
I applaud his effort for that. That's the good way to do it. Hot shot a match or two, get your ratings back up. This will draw 680,000. I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it. I really am.
You mean this show that we just watched or next week?
No, next week.
Next week, yes.
Yes.
The Stun SCSA, the Canadian 5 spot. But to me, I just got a promotion. Same energy. Yes.
Unbeknownst to me, I had a bigger paycheck. No one told me. Holy shit. Renee Baguette is backstage with 8-Ball. Why is this guy on my TV every week? He cannot cut a promo. He doesn't have the look. Nothing about 8-Ball is appealing to anybody that should be a real wrestling fan. Nothing about this guy.
Tony loves the guy. He's living vicariously through 8-Ball.
It has to be that, right?
Of course it
has to
is.
be that.
It used to be Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy's got all kinds of physical ailments. And he's pretty banged up still. So now he's on 8-Ball. Coming out to the ring with a Mystico mask on. And the other guy, the Jet, was wearing a Mystico mask. And people are thinking, what the hell's going on?
I don't want to watch this, and I'm not going to watch this.
And
because out comes 8-Ball and badass Mark Davis. And I said, I'm not watching this. Because he's back in them trucks that just widescreen. Play the movie.
Play the movie.
Guess who won? Guess who won?
A 290-pound man got beaten by a 160-pound man. Well,
he got
AEW.
beat by a 6th grader. You're correct.
It's AEW. It stands to figure. Look at Lance Archer. When's the last time he won a match?
MJF tape segment after the match last week. I didn't think he'd be on this show. Good for him. It was all right. It wasn't crazy. I just thought it was pretty good. We get an Okada promo.
No.
And he's backstage with Speedy Gonzalez and some other guy. I don't know who these guys are. I don't know who these guys are anymore. Thank you, Stud. I don't know who these guys are anymore, dude. I don't know. Am I alone here?
No, they just rotate people in and out. And, this guy still works here. Let's bring him in.
There's like 13 guys in this faction. I can't keep track of them all. None of them matter.
The Don Callis family?
Yeah, Okada and Ichiru are the only guys that matter, whatever his name is.
Takeshita?
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Ichiban,
I
like
think
I
that's
said.
the guy.
There's
Ichiru.
too many guys.
I got the
Ichicrotch, that's his
Ichiru.
name. Then the best match of the night comes out. Footloose comes out, mad as hell, takes off her
Fantastic.
shoes, and throws her socks at the commentator. She's so mad. Throws her socks. I'm cutting through all the bullshit on this thing because out comes a barbed wire bat from Tits McGee.
Yes.
I'm getting through all this. There's a bucket with champagne bottles in it. None of that matters because a table gets set up at the side of the ring. A table. Footloose gets Tits McGee in her hold. Goes to drop her through the table, misses the table completely, puts herself through the table, and bounces Tits McGee's head off of the floor like a basketball.
Her husband is Roderick Strong. We've said this on the show before. One of the best wrestlers in the world, actually. He's a short guy. One of the best wrestlers in the world. Unfortunately, talent's not sexually transmitted. She's horrible. Horrible. She should just be the valet for the Death Riders and don't wrestle any matches. If you got to put her in a ring, put her in a tag team match. Because she's at least hide her shortcomings that way. She's awful. That's why she was released from NXT. Because she was awful in the ring. Terrible.
She bounced her head off of the floor like a basketball. She missed the table completely. The only one that went through the table was Footloose. Shirakawa missed it altogether.
So badly she hit that floor with her head that the ref had to come out and a tight close-up with the ref and his interactions with her. Grab my hand. The only gimmick where he puts his hand in the injured person's hand. If the injured person squeezes his hand, that means it's a sign, okay, she's okay. She didn't know where she was for a minute there.
No,
you could
he
tell.
asked her, he said, do you know where you are? And she said July. So that's where we are.
No, she didn't say July. She said July.
Either way, she won the match, which I thought was startling. Next, they showed that we're going to get the Bucks match, and I said, no, we're not, and I'm not watching this shit, which I'm glad I didn't because that brings us to this point. At some point in this match, the Young Bucks get put into the position of the Tombstone Piledriver along with Jack Perry.
All lined up.
All three, they're all lined up, and all three of them simultaneously bite the penis of their opponent.
They get out of the hold.
And the fans cheered.
Long match with Roppongi Vice, whoever it's Trent, whatever his name is, who's just broken his neck left and right. Rocky Romero, who's never won a match. Never. And who was the other guy?
I don't know because I didn't watch any of it. I just saw that point, and that's all that mattered.
I fast forward through a lot of this, and just to get to the end of the show because I knew they had some time left. It was awful. It was just totally awful. It was just totally awful. And now, Jack Perry, if you bite two dicks, you're just a dick biter, pal. You're just a dick biter.
Who is this supposed to appeal to, Bottles, from a wrestling
dick
standpoint
biters.
as a fan?
Dick biters.
I guess.
It doesn't seem like they're strangers to that sort of situation. The Young Bucks.
They're not ashamed to
Perry.
do it, which is what I don't get. You're not ashamed. There's no shame in you at all. You're not ashamed to have a spot like this in your wrestling show. By the way, according to Dave Meltzer and all their ilk, this show is for families. We're family friendly. We're family affordable.
Sure they are. The blood, the dick biting tits, women bleeding like stuck pigs on many occasions.
I don't know where this is going, but this show is not getting better in my opinion.
Well, it just went
hot-shotting matches.
It went right down into a valley, which you didn't see when Edge and Christian came out. Finally, after all these months, they said, because the Young Bucks cut a promo saying they want to get their championship titles back from FTR.
That's right. You told me that at the end of the show, that's what happened.
They came out and said basically that the Reader's Digest version is they put my wife in a pile driver and she had to get neck fusion surgery. Another one with neck fusion
My whole wife.
My whole wife through the ring. And she, after waiting 6 months, she finally got neck fusion surgery, which is bullshit storyline. And they have FTR first before the Young Bucks. They got dibs on FTR. FTR and Stokely Halfway House come out, and they get into the ring. They charge the ring. They bring in their belts. They had the belts on. They take them off. But they're bringing the belts to the ring so that you can have a tug-of-war contest in the ring with the belts between Edge and Christian and the Young Bucks.
Stupid.
The Edge and Christian look like two parents that came to the ring to pick up their children from gymnastics class. That's what it looked like. Oh, God. That's what it looked like. They looked like they came to pick up two young male cheerleaders from the cheerleading squad. Practice.
I just don't understand where this is going. I don't get the Bucks. I get the Bucks less and less. I never got Jack Perry. I don't get any of this shit. I think it's a joke of a show. I think the high spots of this are so low now. It's getting harder and harder to watch this thing. I hope for the first time ever, either change everything you're doing, or I hope you do get canceled. I really do, because that's where we're at now.
They've got to do a reset on this shit. They really have to. They got to. They've got. It can't be the same old Young Bucks FTR bullshit. Young Bucks FTR Edge and Christian bullshit. I know they're gearing up for that match in October up in Toronto, Canada. That pay-per-view they got. Or is it a Dynamite? I'm not sure. That's rumored to be Edge's last in-ring performance.
Oh, really?
Yes, I hope it is. I hope that's supposed to be his retirement. Because everybody's retiring nowadays. I hope they do it. Because it's just...
It's so painful to watch this show. It's like I got gonorrhea. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you in a week.
Time to go.
We're out of here.
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.